Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, I will be explaining how the PHP static variables work. A static variable basically exists only in a local function scope, but it does not lose its value when the program execution leaves the scope. So let me show you an example. Before I show you an example, let me just add to that. Normally when a function is completed, so you have a function that does a specific task. Once the function has finished executing the task, the function will have some variables. And what happens once the task has been executed, the variables are deleted. So it stores no records of that variable. However, there are times you may want to keep the values of that variable, so you don't want the variables to be deleted. You may want that variable to do something further after that function has been executed. So this is where the static variable comes in. All right, consider the following example here. I've got a function called test, and I've got a variable here called k with a value of 0. And what I'm doing here, I am echoing, that is, I'm outputting the value of this variable k. So each time I call this function, I want the value to increase by 1. This plus plus means increment. Okay, so here on line 16 is where I'm going to call this variable, and I'm adding a break so that it doesn't display the output on the same line. And here again, I'm calling the variable again. So in this example here, what I'm expecting the function to do would not yield any positive result. The function will be quite useless, because every time the function is called, it will set the value of this k variable to 0, and it will print out 0. This here, this plus plus, which means increment, is meant to increase the value of the variable, will serve no purpose, because as soon as the function exits, the value of this variable disappears. So let's check that out. So let me save all and refresh. Okay, you can see here it's giving me 0. All right, so this increment thing is not working, because every time the function is called, it does not retain the value it had before. It doesn't store it. So that's why each time I call it, it gives me the same value. The way we can avoid that is to include the keyword static in front of the variable name. So if I come here now and type in static, that should solve the problem. So I click save. So now if I run the if I call this function now, this increment operator will work. So I will expect the first value to be 0. It will save that once the function executes. If I call the function again, it will remember that the first value was 0. It will now add the next value, increase it to 1. So let's give that a go and see. You can see here, so it's retaining the value. If I do the same here and call the function again, I'm being lazy here, so I'm doing some copying and pasting. I'm going to call the function here and just tab down and give it a call again. So now I'm going to expect the value to be 3. So this first call will be 0, second call will be 1, next call should be 2. So I'll save all. I refresh, you can see, and so on. So using the static keyword in front of the variable names makes the variable retain the value so that you can reuse it. So that's basically how static variable works, but they are used inside a local function scope. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.